Thanks for being with me again. Look, there's a wonderful article written in The Guardian titled "Just Like McCarthy, Trump Spreads Fear Everywhere Before Picking Off His Targets." And I wanted to cite this article because it raises some really interesting points just in relation to where we are now and where we are in relation to the truth, if you like, and particularly a comparison between what's happening in Trump world and what's happening in relation to the past, particularly McCarthyism. And this particular article describes the similarities between these two distant historical events. One current historical, I guess, and the other one sitting back in the 1950s. So most of us know that McCarthyism was an effort to eradicate the Red Terror, the communists that infiltrated the United States, and the clear harm that communism was going to do to the rest of the world. And it was really, I think, about also consolidating consolidating racism, actually, and insisting that that those people who were lesser than themselves, that is, those people who were seen as poorer, as coloured, as being different to the ruling class, then those people were deemed to be, I guess, inhuman. And so it was an effort by the extreme right of the time in order to denigrate anybody who was different to them. It's funny, isn't it, though, that we seem to be seeing the same thing happen again and again. And I just want to quote some excerpts from this article. And it states, and one of the things that just draws this comparison, I think, to help us to understand where we are now and where we were back in the day of McCarthyism, and it is this particular comment. It was not communists who were silenced. Quote, "If someone insists that there is discrimination against Negroes in this country, or that there is an inequality of wealth," claimed the chair of one state's committee in Un-American Activities. He went on to say, "There is every reason to believe that person is a communist." And interestingly enough, I had someone on my comments section of my YouTube video just the other day call me a communist. Now, I don't know whether that was meant to be an insult, because it isn't, or whether he was making a statement that my views were so far left and that they were different to, I guess, what his right-wing version of the world is, that therefore I was automatically named a communist. I'm happy to be called a socialist, but I don't know what they mean by the word communist either, and I don't think they do either. And it was kind of invoking some of this McCarthyistic type version of the world, which indicated to me that stuff is still quite prevalent, in fact. And so I just want to read some more from this because I think it's quite interesting. 70 years from McCarthyism, Americans seem to be entering such a moment. Over the past month, we have seen the mass deportation to a notorious foreign jail of hundreds of people declared to be illegal immigrants and gang members. Without evidence or due process, the arrest, detention and threatened deportation of foreign students, including Mohammed Khalil, Ramaya Ozturk, Mamadou Tal and Yansia Chong, for protesting about the war in Gaza. The backlisting of law firms representing clients of whom Donald Trump does not approve, and the mass sackings of federal workers. Fear works here in two ways. The targets of repression are groups about whom it is easier to create fear and so easier to deprive of rights and due process. Doing so then creates a wider climate of fear in which people become less willing to speak out, and not just about Palestine. Already, whole segments of American society are running scared. This is what one observer apparently noted, and this journalist quoted. Institutions such as universities, Schrecker concluded about the 1950s, did not fight McCarthyism, but contributed to it, not only through dismissals and blacklists, but also through accepting the legitimacy of what the Congressional Committee and other official investigators were doing, thereby confirming respectability upon the most repressive elements of the process. It is a process repeating itself today, and he cites some examples. Earlier this month, after cancelling $400 million in federal grants and contracts, Trump made a series of demands of Columbia University, including that it changes disciplinary rules, place the Middle East, South Asian and African Studies Department under academic receivership, and adopt the contested International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance definition of anti-Semitism that its own lead drafter Kenneth Stern condemns of having been weaponised into a blunt instrument to label anyone an anti-Semite and to go after pro-Palestinian speech. Last week, Columbia capitulated. And we also know that Harvard University have recently been attacked and are being asked to get rid of any of their woke teachings, if you like, around African Americans and so forth. So we're seeing, without necessarily a committee put up, as we saw in the 50s in relation to McCarthyism, we're now seeing an effort, though, to squash anything that challenges the beliefs, or the beliefs particularly of the right wing, and the beliefs of the Trump administration. And as a result of that, we're also likely to see further down the track organisations such as the ABC, CNN, MSNBC, PBS, which have already been targeted, NPR. We're likely to see all of those institutions have their licence taken off them. And the only place in which you will be able to watch or listen to anything that even represents news will be Fox News, Newsmax, AIM and others. So the right wing will dominate. The right wing are endeavouring to do what McCarthyism failed to do back in the 50s. And we need to resist that, because it will impact not just those people in America, it will impact the rest of the world as the United States heads more and more towards isolationism. So let me know what you think about all of this in the comment section below. Is the United States heading towards a more radical right-wing perspective of the world, which is going to silence any dissent in relation to any of the actions that they take? And, you know, as they attack judges, and as they attack the media, which they've done for years, being fake news, as they continue to do all of that, will the left, will the progressives be able to fight back in a meaningful way, not by burning Tesla cars, but by giving a voice to all those people who are being denigrated, incarcerated by this administration? What do you think? Let me know in the comment section below. In the meantime, take care, look after yourselves, and more importantly, be safe.